What if you woke to a nightmare? Hand stained with blood, a knife bearing your prints, neighbors screaming for your guilt, all for a murder that never happened. Evidence roars louder than truth. Innocence a whisper drowned in doubt's cold grip. Welcome, true crime fanatics, to a tale that'll twist your mind and freeze your soul to its core. Harwood, Indiana, 1985. A fading steel town of 5,000 souls, where trust binds neighbors like family, until a lie shatters them like brittle glass. What if a crime leaves blood, weapons, witnesses, but no body, no proof it ever existed? We'll unravel 4 real cases. Sam Shepard's 1954 Ohio nightmare, Charles Lindbergh Jr.'s 1932 New Jersey kidnapping, Azaria Chamberlain's 1980 Australian tragedy, Madeleine McCann's 2007 Portugal mystery, where evidence convicted the innocent or buried truth in shadows. Were these crimes real, or lies dressed in crimson proof? This is Crime Mysteries, Shocking Criminal Stories, and our plunge into these enigmas will grip you until the final, haunting revelation. Subscribe, smash that like, hit the bell, and step into the fog. Truth is a ghost, slipping through your fingers like smoke. Harwood, 1985, is a heartland relic on Indiana's Wabash River, its 5,000 residents clinging to Reagan's America amid a crumbling steel industry that once fueled their dreams. Rusted mills loom over clapboard bungalows, their smokestacks cold, gates chained, a grim testament to jobs lost to automation and Japanese imports. Downtown's brick storefronts, Hank's Hardware, Betty's Diner, Miller's Five and Dime, fade under economic strain, their signs peeling, windows dusty, shelves half-stocked with faded dreams of prosperity. Maple Street pulses with small-town life. Kids bike past white picket fences, their laughter mingling with the sizzle of backyard barbecues, the scent of charred burgers and fresh-cut grass thick in the humid July air. Radios blare Cyndi Lauper's time after time. Tears for Fears, Everybody Wants to Rule the World, their scent beats weaving through open windows, a fleeting escape from the town's quiet decline. Sunday mornings at First Presbyterian Church fill pews with hymnals and gossip, coffee brewing in the basement, neighbors swapping tales of high school football triumphs, Reagan's tax cuts, or the Challenger shuttle's upcoming launch, a symbol of American ambition. Crime is a stranger here, a stolen lawnmower from a garage, a bar fight at Rusty's Tavern over a spilled Budweiser, solved by dawn with a handshake or a night in the drunk tank. Trust is Harwood's heartbeat, woven into every nod at the Texaco station, every shared apple pie at the church potluck, every front door left unlocked under the glow of porch lights. But trust is a fragile thing. It blinds, it betrays, it breaks, and when evidence points to a crime that might not exist, Harwood's faith will crack like a bone under a hammer, leaving only whispers of doubt in its wake. Picture Harwood facing a mystery that mirrors our real cases. Clara Hensley, 34, a librarian at the Elm Street Library, accused of murdering her husband, Thomas, 38, a steel foreman with a quick temper and $15,000 in gambling debts to local bookie Frank Russo. On July 12, 1985, neighbor Ellen Pritchard, 62, a retired schoolteacher with a penchant for nosy vigilance, calls police, her voice shaky, reporting a scream and the sharp scent of bleach wafting from Clara's bungalow at 412 Maple Street. Officers arrive, their boots heavy on the sagging porch, finding blood pooling on the kitchen linoleum, a butcher knife with Clara's fingerprints, drag marks snaking to the garage, a bloodied rag stuffed in the trash, and Thomas's wallet, stained red with O-positive blood, found in a dumpster behind Betty's Diner. No Thomas, no body, just evidence that screams murder, a story written in crimson and steel. Clara, pale and trembling, insists Thomas is alive, that he stormed out after a fight at 10 p.m., packed a duffel bag, and headed to Chicago to dodge Russo's threats, her voice steady, but her eyes haunted by years of his fists, his slurred promises, his debts that choked their marriage. The Harwood Gazette, a weekly paper with a circulation of 2,000 and a flair for bold headlines, blares, "Killer Librarian? Maple Street Murder Shocks Harwood." Its ink fresh, its words turning neighbors into jurors overnight. Evidence piles up like a house of cards. Blood matches Thomas's O-positive type. Clara's diary entries detail fights. "He'll ruin us. I can't breathe in this house." And Ellen swears she saw Clara scrubbing the floor at midnight, her hands gloved, her face grim. No body. Clara's alibi, Thomas left alive, buckles under the weight of proof. The town's whispers, the Gazette's venom. Is she a killer hiding in plain sight, or a victim of a lie too perfect to unravel? Could Rousseau have staged the scene, erasing Thomas's debt with a frame-up? Harwood's tale, though fictional, is a mirror to our real cases, where evidence built cages for the innocent, or muddied truth beyond recognition, leaving questions that haunt decades later, scars that never fade. Our journey spans 4 cases across time and continents, each a labyrinth where evidence suggested a crime, but truth slipped through the cracks like sand through clenched fists. In 1954 Ohio, Dr. Sam Shepard was convicted of bludgeoning his wife, Marilyn, based on blood spatter, a rumored affair, and a town's rush to judge. But he claimed an intruder, later walking free after years in a cell. In 1932 New Jersey, Charles Lindbergh's baby was kidnapped, with ransom notes, a ladder, and a nation's grief. But the accused was executed amid lingering doubt, the crime's truth blurred by fame. In 1980 Australia, Lindy Chamberlain was jailed for murdering her baby, Azaria, with blood in her car and a torn jumpsuit. But a dingo's roll and no body freed her after years of torment. In 2007 Portugal, Madeleine McCann vanished, cadaver dogs and blood traces pointing to murder. Yet no body, no answers, only suspicion that clings like damp fog over the Algarve's cliffs. These cases ask, how does evidence fool us? When blood, notes, and witnesses lie, who pays the price? Are these people killers, or victims of crimes that never were? Let's step into the shadows and chase the truth, or whatever fragments remain, scattered in the wind. July 4th, 1954, Bay Village, Ohio. A sleepy suburb of 15,000 souls on Lake Erie's shore, where Dr. Sam Shepard, 30, and his wife, Marilyn, 31, live with their son, Chip, 7, in a cozy lakeside home at 3480 Westlake Road. Bay Village is 1950s America distilled. Manicured lawns framed by blooming hydrangeas, Ford Thunderbirds gleaming in driveways, radio jingles for Lucky Strike cigarettes, and I Love Lucy flickering on black and white Zenith TVs. The post-war boom fuels optimism. Diners serve cherry milkshakes. Kids play stickball in cul-de-sacs. McCarthyism's shadow looms with whispers of Reds in every PDA meeting. Sam, a charismatic osteopath, runs his family Shepherd Hospital, his charm a local legend, his golf swing admired at the Bay Village Country Club. Marilyn, 4 months pregnant with their second child, is a homemaker, her warm smile lighting up bridge games at the women's club, her cherry pie recipes swapped over picket fences at summer barbecues. That night, as fireworks crackle over Lake Erie, their pops echoing through the humid air, Sam calls police at 5:58 a.m., his voice frantic, claiming he fought a bushy-haired man who attacked Marilyn. Officers arrive, their flashlights cutting through dawn's haze, finding Marilyn bludgeoned in their bedroom, her body sprawled across the bed, blood splattered on walls, sheets, and a pillow, soaking the mattress in a crimson pool, droplets trailing down the stairs to the beach, where waves lap silently. Sam's story stumbles, no signs of forced entry. His injuries, a bruised neck, a chipped tooth, seem minor, almost staged, and rumors of an affair with Susan Hayes, a 24-year-old nurse at Shepherd Hospital, surface among staff whispers. Evidence piles up like a house of cards ready to collapse. Blood on Sam's wristwatch matches Marilyn's A-positive type. A neatly folded towel in the bathroom suggests staging, and motive jealousy. Fears of a costly divorce seals the narrative in the town's collective mind. The Cleveland Press, a powerhouse with 300,000 readers, screams, "Doctor kills wife." Its editorials venomous, branding Sam a liar, a philanderer, a monster before a single witness takes the stand. Bay Village turns, neighbors shunning the Shepherds, gossip painting Marilyn's death as a crime of passion, her blood a verdict etched in the linoleum of their once happy home. Sam's arrested August 17, 1954, charged with first-degree murder. His trial a media circus that dwarfs Stephen Harwood's fictional frenzy. The press, led by editor Louis Seltzer, runs daily attacks. Why isn't Sam Shepherd in jail? Swaying jurors, tainting justice. It's Inca prosecutor in print. Prosecutor's present blood spatter analysis. Sam's affair with Hayes, confirmed by her tearful testimony. And his weak alibi. He slept on the living room couch, woke to Marilyn's screams, fought the intruder on the stairs, chased him to the beach, and passed out in the sand. No murder weapon is found, but coroner Sam Gerber claims a surgical instrument fits the 35 wounds on Marilyn's head and neck. His testimony unchallenged despite no physical evidence. The defense points to forensic flaws. Blood spatter arcs suggest a left-handed attacker. Sam was right-handed. Neighbor Esther Houck saw a tall, dark figure near the house at 2 a.m., and Sam's injuries, a cervical sprain, dental fracture, align with a struggle, per medical reports. Jurors, bombarded by headlines and radio bulletins, convict Sam on December 21, 1954, sentencing him to life. His family shattered. Chips sent to relatives in Cleveland. The Shepherd name synonymous with guilt. But doubts creep in like fog over Lake Erie. Spatter patterns show inconsistent arcs, suggesting two attackers. Houck's sighting is dismissed by police. Sam's intruder story holds odd consistency across interrogations. His polygraph, though inadmissible, showing no deception. In 1966, lawyer F. Lee Bailey, a rising star with a knack for overturning convictions, wins Sam's release, citing media bias, suppressed evidence, e.g., blood traces not matching Sam, and a prejudiced judge who called Sam guilty as hell off record. A 2000 civil trial clears Sam posthumously. DNA on Marilyn's body pointing to Richard Eberling, a window washer with a burglary record, later convicted of murder in 1989. His B-positive blood matching traces at the scene. A cut on his hand noted days after the crime. Sam, dead by 1970 at 46 from liver failure, never recovered. His career ruined. His wrestling stint as Killer Shepherd, a desperate bid to survive. His son, Chip, now in his 70s, fights for his legacy at legal forums, his voice raw with decades of pain. Was Marilyn's murder misread? The evidence skewed by a town's haste and a newspaper's vendetta? Did Bay Village's rush to judge blind justice? Or was Sam a killer who fooled the courts with a tale of a bushy-haired ghost? Bay Village, 1954, mirrors Harwood's fictional paranoia in 1985. Imagine Clara Hensley, blood pooling in her kitchen, a knife with her fingerprints, no body. The Harwood Gazette branding her guilty before she can speak. Shepherd's case shows how evidence, blood, motive, circumstance, can convict without truth, how a town's trust can curdle into hate overnight. The Cleveland Press fueled a witch hunt, like Harwood's gossip might, turning neighbors into executioners, friends into accusers, a community into a mob. Shepherd's exoneration asks, what if the crime was overstated, the intruder real? Forensic errors, blood misread as guilt, spatter arcs ignored, built a lie that stole a decade of Sam's life, his family's peace, his son's childhood. How many others rot in cells, damned by proof that's no proof at all? Our next cases deepen the mystery, where evidence screams louder than truth, and justice stumbles in the dark, lost in shadows of doubt. What happens when the crime's a ghost, but the evidence feels alive, pulsing, undeniable? March 1st, 1932, Hopewell, New Jersey, a sprawling estate in the Sauerland Mountains, where Charles Lindbergh, 30, aviation hero of the 1927 transatlantic flight, lives with his wife, and Morrow Lindbergh, 26, and their son, Charles Jr., 20 months. Hopewell is a quiet hamlet of 1,500, its residents starstruck by Lindbergh's global fame, their lives tied to dairy farms, Prohibition-era speakeasies, and the Great Depression's brutal grip, bread lines stretching through Trenton, shantytowns dotting the state, 25% unemployment fueling desperation across America. That night, at 10 p.m., nursemaid Betty Gow finds the nursery empty, a ransom note scrawled on the windowsill demanding $50,000 in gold certificates, a homemade wooden ladder leaning against the house, its rungs splintered, mud-caked. Evidence mounts like a gathering storm. Muddy footprints in the nursery, with shavings from the ladder's construction. Lindbergh's voice trembling as he negotiates with a shadowy John in a Bronx cemetery, his words recorded by frantic reporters. The nation erupts, the New York Times blaring. Lindbergh baby kidnapped. Its front pages drowning in ink. Radio bulletins fueling panic. President Hoover vowing federal aid in a rare broadcast. No body is found, but the crime feels visceral. 13 ransom notes, their grammar stilted, their demands escalating to $70,000. $50,000 is paid on April 2nd, 1932, in marked gold certificates in a darkened cemetery. Yet the baby remains missing. Bruno Hauptmann, 35, a German immigrant and carpenter, is arrested on September 19, 1934, caught with $14,000 of ransom money hidden in his Bronx garage, his tools matching the ladder's pine and fir wood, his handwriting similar to the notes, per contested forensic linguists. The Times brands him the kidnapper, and Hopewell's fear hardens into hate, its residents whispering of foreigners and gangs invading their rural haven, their trust eroded by Depression-era paranoia. Hauptmann's 1935 trial in Flemington, New Jersey, dubbed the trial of the century, is a spectacle. 200 reporters crammed the courthouse. 60,000 spectators swarmed the streets. Lindbergh testifying, his fame swaying jurors like a tidal wave. Prosecutors present damning evidence. $14,000 in ransom cash stashed in Hauptmann's walls. Ladder would trace to his attic boards. A neighbor's sighting of a swarthy man near the estate on March 1st. But cracks widen under scrutiny. No fingerprints on the ladder or notes. Witnesses coached by New Jersey State Police. Hauptmann's denials unwavering, his alibi. Working at a Manhattan lumberyard on March 1st. Partly corroborated by a co-worker's affidavit. Handwriting experts split. 3 calling the match forced. 2 affirming it. The ladder's wood, while similar, lacks definitive grain matches. Its nails rusted but not unique. Hauptmann's convicted on February 13, 1935, sentenced to death, and electrocuted on April 3, 1936, at age 36. His final words, "I am innocent," echoing in a nation divided by doubt. No body was found until May 12, 1932. A crushed skull discovered in woods for miles from Hopewell, too decomposed to confirm the cause, kidnapping gone wrong, or something else entirely. Theories swirl like leaves in a storm. A family cover-up, Charles Jr. had an enlarged head. A health issue hidden by the Lindberghs. A mob hit, Lindbergh's fame drew enemies from organized crime, or Hauptmann as a scapegoat for a nation desperate for closure. The Times' coverage, syndicated to millions, fueled a frenzy, its headlines blinding truth, with Lindbergh's untouchable aura. Much like Harwood's Gazette might whip up a mob. Was the kidnapping a crime misread, or a half-truth buried by fame and fear? Did Hopewell's hysteria, amplified by Lindbergh's myth, kill an innocent man, or was Hauptmann the monster the evidence painted? Hopewell's 1932 paranoia echoes Harwood's fictional mob in 1985. Picture Clara Hensley, accused of murder, blood in her home, no body. The Gazette whipping up guilt with every edition, neighbors turning with every whisper. Lindbergh's case shows how circumstantial evidence, ransom notes, marked cash, a ladder's wood, can execute without clarity. How a nation's grief can twist justice into vengeance. The Times drove panic, like Harwood's whispers, turning strangers into jurors, truth into a myth of guilt. Hauptmann's death asks, was the crime a kidnapping gone wrong, or a deeper secret, hidden by Lindbergh's untouchable status? Let's shift to Australia, where evidence damned another in a land as unforgiving as its outback, where faith and blood collided in a nation's rush to judge. August 17, 1980, Uluru, Australia. A sacred red rock in the Northern Territories desert, where Lindy Chamberlain, 32, and her husband, Michael, 36, Seventh-day Adventists, camp with their 3 children, including Azaria, 9 weeks old. Uluru's 1980s Australia is rugged. It's 14 million people embracing Crocodile Dundee on cinema screens, AC/DC's Back in Black on vinyl, and a cultural conservatism that eyes outsiders, especially religious sects like the Adventists, with their vegetarianism and Saturday worship, with suspicion. At 8 p.m., as a campfire flickers and the outback's silence presses in, Lindy screams, "A dingo's got my baby!" Azaria vanishes from their tent near the rock's base, her cry swallowed by the desert night. No body is found, but evidence emerges. Blood in the Chamberlain's yellow Torana car, a torn jumpsuit near the campsite, Lindy's calm demeanor under scrutiny. Too calm, say park rangers, for a mother whose child is gone. The Sydney Morning Herald brands her a killer, its headline screaming, "Mother murders child at Uluru." Australia splitting. Dingoes don't steal babies, or do they? Forensic tests claim fetal hemoglobin in the car's footwell, a scissors-like cut on the jumpsuit, and witnesses describe Lindy as cold. Her composure a sin in a nation expecting hysterics. The Herald fuels hate, printing rumors of ritual sacrifice tied to the Chamberlain's Adventist faith, painting them as otherworldly. Their vegetarianism and Bible study a scarlet letter in a land craving conformity. Police seized the car, finding blood under the dashboard, on a camera bag, and in the tent, though quantities are trace, mere milliliters, not liters. A ranger reports dingo tracks near the tent, but police dismiss it. Their focus on Lindy, their bias clear in leaked reports to the press. Lindy's arrested on October 19, 1980, charged with murder, Michael as an accessory. Their trial in Darwin a media storm that rivals Harwood's fictional frenzy. Prosecutors present blood evidence, the jumpsuit's cut, and Lindy's demeanor, claiming she slit Azaria's throat in the car, hid the body in the desert, and fabricated the dingo story to cover a ritual killing. The defense counters, no murder weapon, blood tests rushed, dingo attacks documented. 3 infants killed by dingoes in Australia since 1975. Witnesses waver. One ranger saw dingo tracks leading west. Another heard no screams. A camper noted Lindy's panic, but Michael's calm. Lindy's faith is weaponized. Prosecutors cite Adventist prophecies, implying zealotry, though no evidence links religion to the crime. The Herald's coverage, read by 500,000, mocks her beliefs. Its cartoons depicting Lindy as a witch. She's convicted on September 29, 1982, sentenced to life. Michael fined $2,000. Their family torn. Their sons, Aiden and Reagan, sent to relatives in Queensland. But cracks widen under scrutiny. Blood tests falter. The fetal hemoglobin was rust from a car spill. confirmed by retests in 1984. Jumpsuit tears match dingo teeth, not scissors, per zoologists. In February 1986, Azaria's matinee jacket surfaces near dingo dens during a hiker's rescue, vindicating Lindy's story. Its fabric intact, its bloodstains natural. Lindy's freed on June 2, 1987, fully exonerated by 1988. A 2012 coroner's ruling confirming a dingo's attack as the cause of death. No body was ever found, only bone fragments scattered in the desert, and the evidence lied. Why did Australia judge so fast? Was Lindy's faith her otherness? Her crime? The Herald's bias, like Harwood's gossip, turned neighbors into executioners, truth into a myth of guilt. Chamberlain's case, like Lindbergh's, shows evidence, blood, tears, demeanor, can convict without a crime, leaving scars that never fade. A nation forced to confront its haste. May 3, 2007, Praia da Luz, Portugal. A sunny resort town on the Algarve coast, where Kate McCann, 39, and Jerry McCann, 38, British doctors, vacation with their 3 children, including Madeline, 3, at the Ocean Club Resort. Praia da Luz is 2007 Europe. Blackberries buzz with emails, Coldplay's Viva La Vida tops charts, and tourism fuels Portugal's economy. British families flocking to its golden beaches and pastel villas. At 10 p.m., Kate checks apartment 5A, finding Madeline gone, the window open, shutters jimmied. The twins, Sean and Amelie, too, asleep in their cots. Evidence builds like a gathering storm. Cadaver dog alerts in the apartment's living room. Blood traces under tiles. Kate's fingerprints on the window frame. Parental inconsistencies. Jerry's calm press conferences contrast Kate's anguished diary entries, later leaked. The Daily Mail hints at murder, its headline screaming, "Did they do it?" Portugal's Policia Judiciaria named the McCanns arguidos, suspects, in September 2007. Leaks fueling a global media frenzy, CNN, BBC. El País broadcasting every twist to millions. No body, but suspicion festers. DNA in a red Fiat Punto rented 25 days later, sent traces by sniffer dogs. A neglect narrative. The McCanns dined 50 yards away, checking hourly on the children. The Mail prints lurid claims, sedatives administered, a body hidden, turning Praia da Luz, once a haven, into a crucible of hate. Locals glaring at the McCanns, tourists whispering in cafes, the resort's charm tainted by suspicion. The case, unsolved as of April 2025, is a labyrinth. 14,000 tips, 8,000 reported sightings across 101 countries, no answers. Evidence, dogs, DNA, behavior, points to murder, but proves nothing. Cadaver dogs, Eddie and Keela, hit on the apartment and car, but their 70% reliability falters without a body. Blood traces under tiles are inconclusive, possibly Madeline's, possibly a mix, their nanograms too small for certainty, per 2008 forensic reports. Witnesses clash. Jane Tanner, a friend dining with the McCanns, saw a man carrying a child at 9:15 p.m., but CCTV blanks the timeline. A waiter noted Kate's panic at 10:05 p.m., but Jerry's calm raised eyebrows among detectives. Theories swirl like dust in the Algarve's wind. Accidental overdose. Kate, an anesthesiologist, had access to sedatives. Parental cover-up. Abduction by traffickers. Or no crime at all. Madeline wandered, lost to the sea, or a passerby. The McCanns cleared as suspects in July 2008. Fund searches via their Find Madeline campaign, raising £10 million by 2025. Their website a beacon for tips. Their faces aged but resolute in TV appeals. Yet doubt lingers. Why the open window, with no forced entry? Why no screams, no ransom note? Was Madeline killed, Taken, or neither. The Daily Mail's Venom, read by 2 million daily, paints guilt without proof. It's leaks, sourced from police insiders, turning strangers into judges, grief into accusation, a family's loss into a global spectacle. Praia da Luz mirrors Harwood's fictional trap in 1985. Imagine Clara Hensley, blood in her home, no husband found, evidence damning her. The Harwood Gazette fanning flames of guilt. The McCann's case shows how evidence, sense, traces, demeanor can accuse without truth, how media can twist reality into a noose. The cadaver dogs, the blood traces, real, but meaningless without a body? Shepard, Lindbergh, Chamberlain, McCann, each faced evidence that screamed crime, but truth hid, slippery as fog over the Algarve's cliffs. How does proof betray us? What if the crime never happened, only the lie, crafted by haste, bias, or desperation? Our final part ties these threads, revealing the cost of evidence that lies, and the truth that remains lost. Harwood, our fictional Indiana town, weaves a thread through these cases, a mirror to their pain, a lens for their fractured truth. Picture Clara Hensley, 1985, a librarian accused of murdering her husband, Thomas, in their Maple Street bungalow. Blood pools on her kitchen linoleum. A butcher knife bears her fingerprints. Drag marks snake to the garage. A bloodied rag lies in the trash, and Thomas's wallet, stained red with O-positive blood, sits in a dumpster behind Betty's diner. No body, no Thomas. Just evidence that screams murder, a story written in crimson and betrayal. The Harwood Gazette brands her guilty. Its headline: Killer Librarian? Maple Street murder shocks Harwood. Bold and black, neighbors shunning her, churchgoers at First Presbyterian whispering murderer over coffee and powdered donuts. Clara, pale and trembling, swears Thomas fled alive, his $15,000 gambling debt to bookie Frank Russo, chasing him to Chicago or beyond. Her voice steady, but her eyes haunted by years of his temper, his fists, his slurred promises that broke her spirit. Harwood's mob, like Bay Villages in 1954, Hopewell's in 1932, Australia's in 1980, Portugal's in 2007, judges without proof, driven by fear, gossip, and evidence that lies. Evidence, blood, knife, a rumored fight, builds a cage. But what if Clara's right? What if Russo staged the scene, planting blood, forging drag marks, erasing Thomas's debt with a frame-up that damned an innocent woman? Harwood's story, though fictional, echoes the real. Sam Shepard, Bruno Hauptmann, Lindy Chamberlain, the McCanns, each trapped by blood, notes, traces, witnesses, all screaming guilt, yet no body, no certainty the crime was real, only shadows masquerading as truth. Sam Shepard's 1954 Ohio nightmare saw blood spatter, and affair rumors convict him. The Cleveland Press acting as prosecutor, its editorials: "Quit stalling, bring him in." Swaying jurors before testimony began. Freed in 1966 by F. Lee Bailey's appeal, cleared in 2000, his intruder theory gained weight. DNA on Marilyn's body pointed to Richard Eberling, a window washer with a murder conviction, his B-positive blood matching scene traces. A cut on his hand noted days after the crime. Was the crime misread? Evidence twisted by a town's haste and a newspaper's vendetta? Bruno Hauptmann's 1932 New Jersey execution rested on ransom cash and a ladder, but no fingerprints, no clear body tied to him. The New York Times' coverage blinding truth with Lindbergh's fame. Was the kidnapping a cover for a family secret? Charles Jr.'s health issues, or Hauptmann a scapegoat for a nation's grief? Lindy Chamberlain's 1980 Australian ordeal saw blood, and did jumpsuit damn her? The Sydney Morning Herald mocking her Seventh-day Adventist faith, her calm demeanor a sin in Australia's eyes. Exonerated by 1988, her dingo story proven, by a 2012 coroner's ruling. She asked, why her faith, her otherness, her crime? The McCanns, in 2007 Portugal, face a case without end. Cadaver dogs, blood traces, no body, no answers. The Daily Mail's leaks a scar on their grief. Cleared in 2008, they search for Madeline. Their Find Madeline fund a beacon into 2025. Their hope a flicker in a world of doubt. Each case hinges on evidence that lied or half-spoke, and justice that stumbled in the dark, lost in shadows of human error and haste. These stories, Ohio 1954, New Jersey 1932, Australia 1980, Portugal 2007, reveal the fragility of truth, the treachery of evidence. Blood can be misread, Shepard's spatter arcs, Chamberlain's rust stains, notes forged, Lindbergh's debated grammar, witnesses biased, Hauptmann's coach sightings, media venomous, Daily Mail's police leaks. The press, Times, Herald, Mail-fueled paranoia, like Harwood's Gazette might, turning neighbors into executioners, friends into accusers, truth into a myth of guilt. Why do we trust evidence over doubt? Cognitive biases, confirmation bias, groupthink, shape our belief in blood, in knives, in stories that fit our fears. The Innocence Project, founded in 1992, estimates 4 to 6% of U.S. convictions may be wrong, with over 3,000 exonerations by 2025, many tied to forensic errors, blood misidentified, DNA ignored, witnesses coerced. Globally, cases like Chamberlain show similar flaws. Australia's 1980s forensics lagging behind modern standards. Harwood's lesson, and ours, is to question the blood, the knife, the story, the mob, the headlines that scream before they think. What if the crime was less, or nothing? Shepard's DNA, Chamberlain's jacket, McCann's open case. Each begs, where's truth when evidence lies? These cases leave scars on justice, on history, on the human soul. Shepard's son, Chip, now in his 70s, speaks at legal forums, fighting for his father's name, his voice raw with decades of pain, his mother's killer still a shadow. Chamberlain, in her 80s, writes memoirs, her faith unshaken, her story a warning of Australia's rush to judge, her sons carrying her pain. The McCanns, aging but relentless, fund searches, their Find Madeline website a beacon for a girl last seen at 3, now 20 if alive. Their hope a candle in a storm of doubt. Harwood, though fictional, asks, what if evidence traps you and no one listens? Truth is a ghost, evidence a liar, and doubt our only shield. Could you be next, accused of a crime that never was? Your life undone by proof that's no proof at all. These mysteries linger, their questions burning, their shadows long, their lessons urgent. Don't let them fade into the fog, forgotten by a world too quick to judge, too slow to question. Smash that like, subscribe for more cases that unravel your mind, and drop your theories in the comments. Was Madeline abducted? Or is the crime a lie? Did Hauptmann act alone? Or was Lindbergh's fame the real killer? Was Shepard's intruder real? Or is affair his doom? Share this with a true crime fan, hit the bell, and stay tuned. Truth is out there, but it's hiding in the shadows. Lock your doors, question everything, and trust no evidence blindly.